The king commanded the warrior to disgrace him, but with a single strike, he shattered both her armor and her ego. The crowd erupted under the glare of the twin suns above the arena. Dust swirled around polished spears and crimson banners bearing the emblem of the Vortak Empire. At the center stood a human, no armor, no weapons, encircled by thousands of alien spectators who viewed him as nothing more than prey. "Let the games begin," the king proclaimed from his elevated throne, his voice echoing through the massive coliseum. Across from the man, a towering figure stepped forward. 8 feet tall, her violet skin shimmered in the heat, and jagged bone-like armor clung tightly to her muscular frame. Her name was Soraxa, nicknamed the Breaker of Champions, undefeated in all battles. She didn't smirk, she didn't have to. Every confident step she took spoke volumes. Her instructions were simple: shame the human before ending him. The audience expected a spectacle, a feeble man pleading for mercy, dismantled piece by piece. This was the king's gift to his people, a public punishment for the outsider who had embarrassed 5 royal guards during a tavern brawl just days earlier. But the human, a soldier named Kale, stood silently, eyes sharp, lips sealed. He bore no weapon, no protection, no food for 2 days, no sleep. This wasn't a battle. It was meant to be a warning. Soraxa advanced, slamming the butt of her spear into the dirt. "Human," she declared, voice cold and commanding. "Run. It'll be more amusing." Kale remained motionless. "Or perhaps you'd rather die on your feet," she added. Still, he said nothing. With a shrug, Soraxa lunged, a blur of brute strength and speed. Her spear came crashing down, but Kale shifted just a step. The blow struck only dirt. He ducked, spun, and with lightning speed, his hand struck her side, right between the armor plates. The sound of splitting stone echoed. Soraxa stumbled back. A deep crack ran along her armor. Gasps filled the coliseum. A bare-handed human had wounded the champion. The king rose halfway from his seat, his confident grin fading. Soraxa's eyes narrowed. "That was luck," she hissed, readjusting her grip. "You won't get another." But Kale was already moving. She jabbed, fast as lightning. He seized the shaft, twisted, yanked, and slammed his shoulder into her gut. The breath left her lungs in a grunt. She tumbled, scraping across the arena floor. Chunks of armor flaked off. Silence. Soraxa lay still, then twitched, pushed herself up, her face dust-covered and shocked. "You?" she whispered. "You're not just a man." Kale stood a few paces away, breathing steadily. "I never claimed to be." A drop of blood slid down her chin. She stared at it, then at him. Her hands trembled, not from pain, but from something worse. Doubt. No one had ever landed a blow on her. No one had ever stood tall after her first strike. No one had ever looked at her like that. Not with terror, but with calm pity. She rose, her pride splintered like her armor. "This isn't over. I never said it was." With a roar, she charged again, faster, fury driving her. Kale slipped past every strike, ducked, pivoted, evaded. Then, one last move. His elbow connected with her jaw. She crumpled. Her spear clattered to the ground, her armor broken, her spirit even more so. Kale stood over her, not attacking, not mocking. "You were told to disgrace me," he said softly. "You obeyed. But now, you've seen the truth." She looked up, chest heaving, arms weak. "I was a fool." Kale extended a hand. She hesitated, then took it. He pulled her to her feet. The arena still held its breath. Then Soraxa turned toward the royal box. "My king," she shouted, voice raw. "I can no longer carry out your command. This human is not to be degraded. He is not beneath us." The king's face twisted in fury. "You will finish him now," he bellowed. Soraxa stood taller. "No." There was a blur of movement. The king rose, an order barked. Soldiers poured into the arena. Kale looked to Soraxa. "Will you fight beside me?" She hesitated, then nodded. "I will, even if it means exile." The soldiers charged. Kale crouched beside a fallen guard, retrieved a sword, tossed another to Soraxa. She caught it with a grin. "Let's see what we break this time." Back to back, they fought. Human and alien, moving as one, swift, precise, relentless. This was no performance. This was rebellion. The fight didn't last long. Blow after blow, the royal guards fell, not killed but defeated. Weapons snapped. Pride crumbled. The king's face paled. "Seize them both," he howled. But no one moved. The arena, once loud, now hushed. No soldier advanced. No commander obeyed. What they had witnessed broke the illusion of power. Kale stood atop a broken spear, pointed at the throne. "You send warriors to enforce your cruelty. You treat soldiers like beasts. But fear does not make true strength." Soraxa stepped beside him, bruised but unbowed. This man is the first to treat me as an equal, she declared, and I will never again raise my blade for a coward king. The crowd stirred, then erupted into cheers. The king fled. His guards stepped aside. By nightfall, the arena was silent once more. At its heart stood Kale and Syraxa. You didn't just break my armor, she said quietly. You shattered everything I believed about humans, about strength. Kale nodded. And you reminded me that real strength isn't power, it's choice. She tilted her head. Where will you go now? He glanced up at the stars. I don't know, but I'd travel farther if I didn't go alone. Syraxa smirked and extended her arm. Then you won't. And together, the human and the warrior once sent to shame him walked out of the arena. No longer enemies, no longer pawns, but equals.